Good evening. Ira Epstein with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Monday, the 6th of February, 2023. All right, throw everything else you know to the sideline for a minute. Tomorrow, Fed Chair Powell gets interviewed. It's a live interview. It'll be on Bloomberg. He gets a chance here to clean up or stay the course with what he said last Wednesday in the press conference right after the FOMC meeting. Most of us, my hands up with that, think he did a very terrible job at that meeting. I walked away saying, man, he's really dovish. And I don't think that's, his words were the opposite, but his tone, his body language, nothing fit in with that. I'm not the only one that has said this. Now we've had 4 days, 5 days, and people have been coming out and saying just what I have. So this is where he gets to clean it up. What's clean it up mean? Well, how does he answer the 517,000 new jobs in the job report? How does he clean up 3.4% unemployment? He can say, and rightly should say, that the graduality of inflation falling is taking place. And we've seen that in certain markets. The big companies in America have been letting people go. Dell today, 6,600 people are going to be let go. But they're gobbled up by the small to medium-sized firms. So you get out of this, and the people are clamoring to hire you over here. He might be asked about consumer debt, which is rising, and tomorrow we get a report on that as well. But I think it's folly to try to trade some of these markets, the stock indices and the interest rate futures example, right in front of that. Probably staying away from the dollar might be a good move. It's going to affect everything. Once it's out of the way, it's what it is. That's given him 2 chances to talk. He either cleans it up, he doesn't clean it up. And whatever it is, the market's going to tell you what they think right away. It's a big day. It's like a second FOMC number coming out, the reaction to this, okay? He's not going to raise or lower interest rates here. He has got his second press conference. When you and I take a look at the S&P 500 index, the question is, are you going to get back over the spike that you made at 4281 or not? You're sitting here at a number that so many people have talked about, the 4,100 level in the S&P. And this chart action isn't all that bad because when the market finally broke on Thursday, and a little bit, but Friday was the break off the jobs data, you'd already had a pretty good rally in the market last week. You see that all the way up here. Remember, this right here is today, Monday. That's Friday's action. So you made your spike. You got it back here to the 4,200 level and cleared everything. And then the jobs data has set it back. But is it broken the back of the market? Not in any manner. When you take a look here, you still have a clean pattern of higher lows, higher highs, which is bullish. You're over the 18-day average of closes. You had a bullish crossover of the 18 over the 100-day, and it made a new high on the move. If the market pulls back now, I'd look for the first support at the 18-day average. If you had a slip slide, then maybe getting back right here, 39.8355. In terms of the Bollinger Band, you stick with what you know. 5% of the time you'll stay over this number. But each time you've been over it, the people buying it have found that if they didn't do that and they waited, they could buy the market lower if that was their game plan. Buying over that number rarely proves healthy to one's account. Could it? It could, but it's rare. 5% of the time. I want to be the guy at the 95%, which means no. 95% of the time it's not the thing to do. When I look at momentum, now you got to get nervous. So follow me on this. Tonight, you have one of the numbers under 79. On the close today, though, it was 78.78. My work formally stepped out in long positions on the close of business, and it's there right now, out of longs, saying that unless you get back over 42.0850, you're probably going to 40.55 or wherever the 18-day average is first. When we come together to the NASDAQ, right here's what I potentially see. Let's do the same thing. Did we lose the embedded reading? If you look at the settlement on today, Monday, 79.46 is not under 79. So even though it's under it right now, that's not the same as losing it. This market's waffling. That's all that you can say. It is still bullish. Higher lows, higher highs, waffling, but everything's still bullish. The Dow never had that pattern. It's been stuck day after day practically at the 18-day average of closes and stuck in the black lines, the Bollinger Bands, not hitting the high or low. It's looking for an event to make it move. When we step together over to the micro, mini Russell got to the Bollinger Band, was embedded. Did we lose that reading? Well, let's go to today's close. On the close of business today, the reading, 80.88. No. Didn't close under 79. I don't care that it's right now under that number. It's at 77.80. It can just easily go back over 80 intraday. So it's waffling, and that's all you can say. I'm real happy with what the VIX did. The VIX got to the lower Bollinger Band. I told traders they could write puts, and I was looking for the 18-day average. Boom. They got it. And I think the pros are out of the market. Now I think everybody sits and they're waiting to see what does the Fed chair say. In the T-bond market, in lickety-split time, how do you like that word? I was waiting to use it. Lickety-split. You went from the upper Bollinger Band to challenge the lower Bollinger Band. Same thing in the 10-year notes. So that's Fed Chair Powell. That's Friday jobs data, and this is the follow-through. Now I'm looking for the support between the Bollinger Band and the 100-day average in an oversold market. That is not a buy area. The cover short area was hit today. That's how I view that. The same in the 5-year note, by the way. In the dollar index, you've gone from the lower Bollinger Band to the upper band. Will you rally tomorrow off what the Fed chair says? I don't know. But the odds of staying over that market's only 5% of the time, and you're overbought already. In the euro currency, it's the flip-flop. You went on the Fed move and the press conference to the highs, then the jobs data just sank the market right away. In the British pound, they've got real problems. All the health workers are now going out on strike again. It's one strike after the other. The economy's reeling. Inflation's not falling away. Europe's different than America. We're more energy by ourselves, independent, sufficient. We supplement ourselves in a very good way here. They can't. And because of that, it's all a question of where they get everything. Just keep your eye on that. It's going to be important. Bitcoin, I had a full get out on Sunday night to my clients of at the market, just throw in the towel. You had lost the embedded reading, and you could see it still sinking away. April Brent versus WTI crude back to 647. Now, what we can't quite figure out is now that all the sanctions are in place, the price caps, if you will, out of the European Union, the G7, and Australia, what does it really mean? Are we going to see shortages anywhere? One of the first reactions was, and it should have been, that Russia is no longer going to price their euros based on their European business. They're going to price it now on Asian business. That's where the market moved. You go where the market is, you know. That's what you do. That's the smart thing. When we take a look at Brent, we got down to the Bollinger Band. We've been hitting it. We're getting a little bit of a bounce tonight. WTI crude, identical, but Brent is stronger than WTI. This is Rebob gas. I wrote the wrong thing. I knew I did that when I was writing it. I think the Rebob bottomed down here today at the 251. I'll fix that for tomorrow. I saw what I did, and I knew that it was there, but I didn't want to stop just now. And in the nat gas. All right, nat gas is going to see that Freeport terminal very shortly open. What does it mean for the supply? When you take a look at the statistics and how much now natural gas we are sending to Europe, it's unbelievable. We have become a major supplier to Europe for it, but they don't need as much as they thought they need. Number one, they ran and bought everything they could because you never know what Mother Nature is going to throw. And as it turned out, Mother Nature has given them a very mild winter. So they have ample storage. They have ample supplies. Does that mean they don't want to fill up? No, they've got to fill their bins all the way. You've got to go into the next winter with that. We still don't know. Russia's a wild card. What's going to happen? Getting back to Russia as we're talking this, I wake up every morning waiting to hear about a major offensive. If I'm a Russian general, am I going to wait for spring for the ground to get mucky and I can't move in my tanks and my Jeeps and everything else that I need, my rocket launchers? No, it's going to happen sooner than you think. And I think that's important to realize with all that. My heart goes out to all the people, Turkey, Syria, all the different countries where this terrible earthquake has happened. The death count, as I understand it, just read, was 3,300. So it just keeps climbing, and that's just an unbelievable event. A 7.8, and I think a 7.5 followed it. Unbelievable with it. So as I said, I've given you a special report. That report is on right here, my energy market. I've been waiting to write about gasoline. I can tell you ahead of time, it's about a setup. It's not that you have to enter the market right now. That's all I'm going to tell you. The setup is starting to show up in it, and that's what we're looking for. I'll give you the seasonal charts. I'm going to help you then looking at weeklies. I'm going to give you dailies on 2 different months so that you can work and see, what's the April and maybe the June contracts look like. How do you get the report? It's pretty simple. You just go to our website, and that's irapstein.com under the word research, or you click up here. There'll be an icon. Give it a click. It'll take you right there. I'm Ira Epstein. Excuse me. You have a great evening. See you tomorrow.